So now we are going to talk about subject-verb agreement. Whenever we create a sentence, write a sentence, we must make sure the subject must agree with the verb. How they both must agree with each other. If the subject is singular, verb should be singular. If the verb is plural, subject should be plural. It should complement each other. It should not be irrespective of each other, goes opposite side. In that case, it would be grammatically incorrect. So that's why we need to be careful about all these things. If you're going to find like what are the subject verb agreement rules, you're going to find n number of rules. Somewhere you would find 30 rules, somewhere you would find 50 rules, somewhere you would find 5 rules. It would depend from different author to author. Here we are going to talk about the overall, in a nutshell, 10 rules which would apply at every place. Okay, and with which you can take help and make the grammatical correct sentence. Okay, now let us discuss each one of them one by one with examples as well. All right, so the first scenario is your subject. If the subject is singular, then your verb must also be singular. This is the basic rule, must be singular. Now you would say, I know about it, then do I know all about the rules? No, somewhere there are words which may vary the singular and plural part of it. So that's what we are going to talk about, and that's why we did singular and plural video separately, where you understand the importance of singular and plural. Okay, so if the subject is singular, verb would be singular. Now here I would give an example. She writes every day. Now many people get confused over here. When it is writes, it is plural, subject is singular, then how come the verb is plural? You said write it in singular. It is singular in nature. It's writes. Whenever we write in present tense, any action word, we add s behind it. If we want to make it plural, we would remove s. This is how it happens in singular and plural concept. Present tense action word, when we write it in singular, we add s in the end of the action word and we remove s to make it plural. So keep it in mind and follow it thoroughly. Now I am going to talk about the second scenario. When the subject is plural, then your verb must be plural. Then your verb must be plural. Okay, so now with the given example, they write every day. Now here what has happened just now, I have written plural they, more than one person. Write, it is in present tense, that's why we have removed s behind it to make the action word plural. Just now we discussed. So they write every day. All right, now I would talk about the third scenario. When two or more nouns or pronouns are connected by and. When we connect these by and, in that case, we need to use a plural verb. We need to use a plural verb. This is what we called notional agreement. We call it notional agreement. You can also call it by that name, or you can just follow the rule as it is given. I would talk about the example right now. The doctor and the student write every day. Now here again you can see I have added and in between, and doctor and the student, two subjects, two nouns are connected by the word and. So I have used a plural verb, plural action word. This is how it happens. This is the other scenario. Now I would talk about the fourth scenario. When there is one subject and more than one action word, more than one verb, then the verb must agree with the subject. Agree with the subject. Like I say over here, I don't say she play. I say she plays, cooks and sleeps. So here what I have done, I have already added the singular part because it is in singular. The subject is in singular. So all the multiple action words would be in singular only. They can't be in the multiple or the plural part. I can't say she play, cook and sleep. It would be wrong. I need to write it in the singular format itself. So be careful onto that. You might think that singular and plural format, the two forms are being followed everywhere, but these are the conditions where different singular and plural scenarios are coming up. Now this was the fourth one we discussed. We are going to talk about the fifth one now. That is when a phrase comes between the subject and the verb. When a frame comes between the subject and the verb. In that case, what you are going to do? In that case, your action word should follow the subject and not the phrase. You can look into your notes. It is given as point number 5. You can refer to that. All right. So when a phrase is given, so if the phrase is in plural and subject is singular in nature, then your verb will be also singular. Because of the phrase, you would not get confused and add a plural verb. It would be wrong grammatically. We get into the flow and we do mistakes we are not aware of. That's why this is again important. If the subject is singular, phrase is plural, the verb will also be singular. Because of the phrase being plural, the verb does not become plural in nature. So be careful. This is the fifth point. I would give you example right away. The student as well as committee members is excited. Now, I have not written R over here. I could have written R, A-R-E-R. But as I said, the subject and in between the phrase have been used. So this is the phrase, this is the subject and this is the verb, is excited. So I can't write R over here because here it is plural in nature. Because my subject is singular, my action word would be singular. Okay, so be careful on this part. I would give you one more example of the plural part. The student with all the master's degree, all the master's degree is very motivated. So I have taken again the similar part, that master's degree is the student. The student is there, then we need to add is singular, singular. If I say over here the students, then I would write over here are. The students with all the master's degree, or all I would remove because I have added students. The students with the master degree are very motivated. Because my subject is plural, my verb will become plural. Okay, so these are the 5 scenarios we just discussed. We are going to discuss 5 more scenarios now. Okay, so as we discussed up till now, the 5 rules of subject verb agreement, let us talk about the 6th rule now. The 6th and 7th rule complement each other. Okay, so let us go one by one. When there are 2 or more singular nouns or pronouns which are connected by or nor with as well as, then we need to use a singular word. Use a singular verb. Now, when the subject is noun and pronouns are singular in nature, use a singular verb. Yes, we know about it, but the condition is or, nor, with, as well as. When these come specifically, you need to go for the basic first number rule is singular, singular, plural, plural. The seventh also talks about the same. Like for example, let me write it first. The seventh says, when a compound noun or compound subject, when a compound subject contains singular or plural nouns. This condition is same, which is joined or connected by or nor, then verb should be plural. So singular noun, singular verb, plural noun connected by or and nor, plural verb. Now you would say why we are considering it separately. This rule we call it rule of proximity. Rule of proximity. One twist is here in this seventh point, that is whichever subject is near, whichever subject is near or closest to the verb, that would be taken. If the subject is plural in nature, which is near to the verb, then it would be plural, otherwise it would be singular. I would take examples of both and you would get clarity. Like here, the example would be the chairman or the CEO approves the proposal before proceeding. Now here I have used the word approves, that is singular. Present tense we did discuss, the chairman and the CEO both are singular in nature, both are connected by or, and we need to add the singular verb. This was the condition we have applied in the sentence. This is how the sentence is created. Now let us talk about the example of this one, the rule of proximity. Okay, now this would be the student and the committee members, or I would say or, because the condition is or, I would take example of or. The students or the committee members are happy. Now why I have written are? The plural format is here, that's why I have written are over here. If I would write the committee members or the student, the committee members or the student, what I would write over here is happy. Now, why did I say it is a compound? First of all, what did we say? The compound subject contains, it is plural in nature because many people are there. The committee members are group of people, but whichever is closer, the verb gets according to that. If it is plural, the verb will be plural. The subject is singular, the verb will be singular in nature. So this is the rule you need to remember whenever you create sentence. You can't say the sentence is incorrect. This is the smallest rule. Here you may fall wrong if you don't know about it. Okay, so be careful about the subject verb agreement. Last but not the least, three rules I'm going to talk to you about. That is the eighth one. When the words or phrases like each, either, neither, and so many examples given in your notes are used, etc., are used. In that case, if they are singular, we use singular verb. Now you would say it is going on common again and again, singular, singular, plural, plural, but the rules are very complex if you see in the examples. Let me take an example. Each of the participants was happy. Now, why did not I write were over here? Because participants is plural. So the rule of proximity may apply. But I have not written or and nor in between. I have written and, or I have not written and even. I have just written each of the participants was happy. So whenever each, everyone, each, this kind of a scenario is there, we would use singular verb no matter what is the action over here. The compound subject comes because there is no or in between. This was the or rule. This is not the or rule. So be careful about these small things. Okay. Ninth rule. When uncountable nouns are there, uncountable nouns take a singular verb. Takes a singular verb. Like we say education. Now education is plural and you can't count it. Like how much education? One, two, three, four. We have created, we humans have created it, but education cannot be counted. It is uncountable in nature. So education is the key to success. We say this way. We don't say education are the key to success. So that's why it is, because the rule says this. Alright, let us talk about the 10th scenario. Collective nouns. Whenever there are collective nouns, they are considered singular. They are considered singular. Hence, singular verb. Hence, singular verb. So, for example, if I say school of fish is there. School of fish is in the pond. Are in the pond. We won't say, we would say is in the pond. I would say the group meets every day. So, group meets, present tense, so it would come S for the singular part. So the group meets every day. The bonus rule, I would say it doesn't fall over here, but just to have a knowledge. Other than this, if you don't know about the more subject verb agreement rule, then it is okay. If you know about these 10 or 11 rules which I have told you, it is going to make you grammatically correct. So need not worry, need not fall into the pit of getting more learning about the subject verb agreement. Last, this is when there is or there are. The sentence starts with there is or there are. This depends, the is would come or are because this is coming in the beginning. The verb is coming in the beginning. Then it is not subject verb agreement. It is verb subject agreement. Then as per your verb, as per the subject coming behind, your verb would change. There is administrative team. Collective noun. There is administrative team. There are pool of, there are group of boys, or I would say there are boys standing. So I have used are over here. There is fish pond, like a school of fish in that pond. So there are boys standing. So this is the 11th point we would address, and this is kind of a bonus point for you, just like there is and there are. Rest are the strong rules which you need to follow whenever you start writing, and make sure that you write grammatically correct sentences. Don't form grammatically incorrect sentences. This way I would meet you in the other video. Thank you.